how's it going? I'm Jenny.
KB here.
And today we are going to make a video for you about the show
Arcane.
And today we're talking about the opening number. It's not the opening number. It's like the opening song. It's a song.
You mean the opening?
The opening of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The opening.
Yeah. There's a moment at the end of the opening.
Yes.
Where it shows Vi and Jinx fighting each other, and this is a very controversial little moment because a lot of people wanted to see Vi and Jinx fight each other in the show, and they feel like it never came to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we wanted to share with you our thoughts on that moment. And let's take a look, and then we'll let you know what we think about it.
Here we go.
All right, so as we come into this, we're just going to show you all the very end, which is where you see that moment between Jinx and Vi. And before this, what they were showing is the different characters kind of as statues.
Yeah, they were carved out of statues. It's really actually a cool direction they went with this as well.
Yeah.
Can I have a Caitlyn statue?
I don't see why not. Yeah. So let's take a look at this moment between Vi and Jinx.
Yes.
Alright, so first they kind of show close up.
Yes, they do.
Jinx, close up Vi.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see their angry faces.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell they're, like, pretty much all out fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how, like, in other parts of the show, you see them fighting like this against other adversaries.
Correct.
So that's how Jinx looked when she was shooting at the firelights.
Yeah.
When they came and interrupted her meeting with Vi.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how Vi looks usually when we see her fighting Savika.
Yeah. It's true.
Mm-hmm. And I think, like, usually when the camera shows, like, up close like that, they're trying to show you their impression, like, expressions, rather.
Yeah.
The facial expressions and, like, help you feel more connected to the characters. So that's what I'm getting so far. Anything else?
It's a really cool, like, point of view because to be honest with you, even if you think of, like, anime openings, you do actually see how they do kind of focus on more important parts of that opening.
Yeah.
And I don't really see that a lot in our media, really. So this is actually pretty cool.
Like Western media.
Western media. Yeah, like, Western media, you don't really see it as much. Like, I think over the years, I've gotten a little bit more with kind of, like, focal points of certain openings and stuff like this. But this is a pretty big one.
Yeah.
And it's also controversial, like we mentioned before.
Yeah.
Because essentially, we'll play some more of it, but there's a reason to why it's controversial. And there it is.
It's cool too to, like, I didn't realize that Vi had two earrings up here in her ear like
our
that.
cartilage, yeah.
So, like, it's kind of cool to be able to see things about them that you might not otherwise see or notice.
So before we get into the, like, what we feel right now, when you first saw this, what did you think?
I thought this was super badass.
Yes.
They look really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, if you're talking about when I first watched, like, maybe the first episode ever.
Yeah.
For the first time ever. Then I honestly, like, I don't know. I think that I was just so taken by the array of how many different statues there were. And just kind of staring at all of them. And didn't really take apart or notice each one for itself. So I just thought that this looked freaking badass. Like, oh my god, there's some really cool fight scenes coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that I thought. What about you?
I thought it was a really interesting way to go because obviously these are models that have to be created and, like, that's a lot of work.
That's so true. And she is a 3D model artist, so you know the background of, like, what all it takes.
It's a lot of work, you know, to get these very fine details and just for them to make these individual assets. And they don't just make, like, just one type. They also make, like, the carving that you see Caitlyn in.
Yeah.
Right? You see actually Caitlyn too, but you see, like, the carving of her in the few seconds into it, which is amazing. They're, like, taking all these different things. They've got, like, They've got the ones where you kind of have Victor and he transitions from kind of being into a stone and then turning into Victor. I mean, they put a lot of, so not only just
That's
like
true.
that, but it's also the visual art style too. But when I first saw this, I saw color, like how they symbolize color, because we always see color, right? So I'm like, okay, well that's obviously
so
this is this character's color, which is like this color right here, and this is her color, which is blue.
It looks to me like, what does it look like?
Go ahead.
Fire and ice.
It does look like fire and ice. It
does.
It really does look like fire and ice. And then
you know why it kind of reminds me of that?
What's that?
It's like, okay, so I live in Central Florida where both Disney and Universal Studios are located. And there's this ride that used to be at Universal, and it was the one with the 2 dragons. And the dragons were fire and ice. Yeah. And you get to like choose which dragon you want to go, and they all like go elsewhere. It's not around anymore. They changed it to something part of like the Harry Potter ride.
Oh, okay.
But I think, I mean, it's the one now that's based on like the flying car.
Oh, okay.
But it used to be just like not specific to any kind of franchise. It was just like 2 dragons, and kind of wizardy looking.
Yeah.
And stuff. But anyway, yeah, one dragon was fire and one was ice.
Yeah.
And so this definitely like with a warm color and cool color, and this big like explosive kind of. It's interesting, this like thing in the center that looks like either like the illuminating sunlight, or an explosion.
Right.
It's like, which is it? The best thing ever or the worst thing ever?
Right.
Like, maybe both. Which is kind of like when you think about like Hextech and how it's portrayed in the show, it's really portrayed a lot like the atom bomb.
It is.
Like, it's like this thing that can make everyone's lives better, or it can become this huge...
it's very volatile.
Yeah, detriment to their world.
It very well can be. That's why he's like,
I feel like I interrupted you. You were talking about I was the one who said fire and ice. Was there something else too?
Well, what's really cool about it is like you get to feel like, okay, you don't know these characters yet, but they're color coded, right? Which is really awesome. And another really interesting thing about this moment too.
That says a lot about their characters too. Like, one of them is really warm, and the other one is cold.
Exactly. There's so many things here that you can just look at it just from the colors. Like, they could have still had this without the colors, and there still would be some sort of impact. But it's so much more impactful when you kind of symbolize the fire and ice, like you mentioned before. Who's hot, who's cold.
And like, now that you mention the colors, I recall that the other statues don't really have this kind of color.
Except Echo.
Oh, except Echo.
He has like that. He's not colored. He's actually not colored though. He's got a green light illuminating him in the back, right? Like Mel has the gold light illuminating in the back. So they have some.
So they do.
But they're not like this.
Not like this.
While Mel has a statue of herself, she's not fully in gold herself.
Okay.
It's like kind of like just like a little bit of highlight. So this is kind of like really like, hey, listen, this is where the focus is going to be on these two. Hey, listen.
Hey, listen.
But when we first watched this too, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be like an end-all be-all fight with these two.
Yeah.
Or if there's going to be something more to this, like a build-up, you know?
Yeah. And I think that this approach, the way that the characters look in the beginning, is very much as artwork.
It is.
And so artwork is interpretive.
Yes.
And so a lot of people have theories about this scene, whether like it might have been something that was removed, like it was like a deleted scene or something that they had in the storyboard that didn't work out. But or if it's like coming, which it could be, coming in the next season, because like basically what's controversial about it is that there's this really cool scene that you're watching now with us at the end of the Arcane opening, and people were waiting to see when this big fight was going to go down, and a lot of people feel that they were disappointed because they didn't see it in season 1. So, I mean, like I said, there are theories that maybe it didn't end up working out, that they originally planned it
there's a lot of theories
for season 1. But my thought in general, I have 2 thoughts about it, and we still have the rest to watch, but I really want to get to this. My first thought is that this is only season 1.
Exactly.
That we still know that season 2 is coming. We know that it's going to have Vi in it. We know it's gonna have Jinx in it because we got like such a tiny promo, but we know that Vi is in it, and we know that she's trying to go after Jinx.
Yep.
So we know that is coming.
Yeah.
Just because we haven't seen it yet doesn't mean that this really epic fight is not coming.
Right.
The other thing is that, like I was saying, the beginning, it's not supposed to be realistic. It's all artwork. So, to me, I really think that this moment is more representative of their characters as art, and, like, this is what's going on, and the conflicts that they're experiencing, compared to being something that's we're meant to take literally. Yeah. What do you think?
I feel like that could be that way, too. Well, for me, it's, like, I go back to like video games. There's always like a build up, or like maybe like an animated show. You have this build up, right? So sometimes they'll throw these scenes and they haven't happened yet, and you're just like, where is it, right? But there's build up, and they already knew what they said before. There's going to be a season 2.
Yeah.
So I feel like this could either be building up to happening because what we saw at the end of season 1, or this could be like something we both see them at odds with each other towards the end. But you don't see it physically. You just see like the pain and all the anger on their faces. Yeah. More of like an expressional like fight of each other instead of a physical one. Yeah. That's kind of how I look at it. Yeah. Because will Vi actually go after her sister like this? It's hard to say.
It depends what Jinx does.
But would now Jinx, who's basically pushed Powder so far down, would she now go after her sister like this?
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
We have a lot to think about.
So that's the thing with that. So right now with this present moment, since we don't really know much about season 2, I'm gonna say it's more of an expression of like what they're dealing with, but not physically dealing with.
And I think we get that from the appearance of this. How it's it's kind of like this energy, this quality,
look at it,
like emotional expression. To me, that's what this artwork says, rather than like,
it's
hey, this is
emotional.
actually happening.
It's very emotional driven. I mean, when you go back to the shots of both of their faces and you see how like pissed off Jinx is and you see how Vi's face is, it's very much the emotions that are flowing, and this is just emotion, right? That's how we feel about it. Let's just take a little bit more. That's so cool. I love how they pan around. And again, it looks like this is how you look at artwork. It is.
You know what I mean?
It is. This is how you would display a piece. If you were going to show this piece of artwork, you want to see it from a 360, you would kind of turn it around like this. Yeah. It's so cool. Look at that. Look, see? And then...
is that... Boom. Oh my gosh. Just like that big moment.
So this
this
is really awesome, because now you really get to go ahead and just see the back part of this. You look at Vi's fist; she's like ready going in for
is that why you're looking at her fist?
Yeah, her fist right here.
I was totally looking at the fist. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, of course. But like, look now. We now have the light changing, right? Now we have the blue right here. We've got her in some kind of a teal, and we've got the red now between them. Okay. There's just so much going on here. Yeah. And you got like the shattering stuff around, and the Jinx looks like she's just ready to go. Wow. But I can see how people were kind of amped up for this, because if you look at it like this, you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is crazy.
This looks like an epic
scene. This looks like this is going to be the fights of all fights, right? So I kind of get it. But as we know what Riot likes to do, interpretation, leave it up to you, the viewer, to kind of figure out what's going on here.
That's true.
But damn, you know something? It looks like, is that her same gun? Maybe it's just the angle. It looks like she's missing some of her gun here, but I don't actually know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's really cool. And even this, like, now the light reflects off of the blue and the red here with these pieces of, like, stone or whatever. Wow. It's just so interesting.
Yeah. It's really exciting. Like, I want to know what's yet to come.
Right?
And what we'll find out in the next season.
I know.
That'll help us take it like
you said before, we definitely know that Vi's in it, we know that Caitlyn's in it, and we know Jinx is going to be in it, because we'll do a video about it, but basically, like, you know, Vi's going to go after Jinx. Yeah. Right? Caitlyn's just kind of like... Oh, no, actually, Caitlyn's the one that says that she can't... If she goes alone, then one of them will end up in a box. So she's like, yeah. And Vi's like, I'll just do my own. Okay, bye.
Yeah. So we know more about this story is coming.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy.
It's such an interesting dynamic.
It really is.
It's just really exciting.
Yeah, and you got some interesting lighting going here by her neck. Huh.
Yeah. What the heck? I think it's another shard.
Yeah, I think it
it's
is too.
another one of those, yeah.
This is, and it's so very interesting. And then if you just look real quickly. Yeah, it's like she picked up her friends and punches like...
Oh, and you know, we saw in one of her fights when she was fighting Savika that she was protected by this big, like...
Yeah, it's
almost like an energy
like a barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like...
For sure, it's like a shield. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was like, oh.
Yeah.
So, that's what that moment reminds me of.
It's so cool. It's really such a, just a really... If you just take in all those detailing they have, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a work of art. And, like, this angle right here, look at this angle here, too.
Oh my gosh.
It really is just pretty awesome.
Yeah. You see Jinx's pigtail
Yeah, you do.
flying wild. And
You do.
see Vi jumping and looking real strong.
Yeah, it's just really just such an interesting piece.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to go back to Jinx's. Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, she's and she's got like her bullets flying. She's already firing. She's got her bullets out right here, actually.
Goodness.
So she's already started firing. Shots have been fired, quite literally, right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other thoughts you have on this magnificent piece of artwork?
Yeah, no. Besides Vi looks really hot. Like, from every angle. Just throwing that out there.
And you get to appreciate, like, her double cartilage piercing.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that. I get to notice extra things about Vi, which I'm happy about. How about you?
I just really, really, really like it. From an artist point of view, it's just very well done. And I don't know if they'll keep it in season 2. I don't know. And they may or may not. If they don't, you wonder why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is really awesome scene.
Yeah. Yay! That's such a beautiful scene. Beautiful moment.
Oh, yeah.
The opening scene. Yeah.
There's so much power in that.
For sure. And their relationship, the Jinx and Vi relationship, is just so charged.
Yeah.
That you really just feel it there.
Yeah.
It's like just that raw connection, raw emotion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else you got to say about it?
I mean, go check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks y'all for watching, and I hope you've had as good of a time checking this out as we have, and we love sharing all of our thoughts with you. We'd love for you all to subscribe and be able to stay in touch with us, and once we get 60 subscribers, we're planning on doing a special live stream, 60 minutes once we hit 60. So we'd love for you all to stay in touch with us and be able to chat with you more about our thoughts and ideas. Sending you all so much love until next time.
Latest!